Thanks for stopping in at the Down the Road Show podcast, brought to you by the Murdock Worldwide Entertainment Network and sponsored by Everyday Natural Products. Go check them out at enpstore.com and see why I always say they're my favorite CBD products on the market. Plus, they got a bunch of other great all-natural products to help you with your mental health and overall health. Here we are, continuing off the last podcast in our Corona quarantine. And I'm bringing in a very old friend that goes way back to when all this crap started with me. And I'm excited to have some drinks with him on the podcast and talk today. Welcoming in, well, you should know by now, I've mentioned him in every damn podcast so far, Dark Nyte Studios. How you doing, Batt?
Good, Casey. Glad to be here.
For those of you in the audio podcast, he was looking around and waiting for his cue.
I've always wanted to do that, so why not take the opportunity to do it now?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're throwing it out to you in California. How's the weather out there?
Good. Slightly sneezy with the chance of an asshole coming within 6 feet of you. Oh wait, are we cussing on this?
Please, come on.
Right.
Of course we are. And cheers, sir.
I did say this was going to be a drinking podcast.
Yes, you did. Cheers. And just for the record, Corona Beer does not sponsor this podcast unless they want to. But, however, it's all I drink anymore since I went gluten-free because it's the only damn good gluten-free beer on the market. They don't even market that it's gluten-free because it's made from corn. So, yay.
Honestly, the beer is suffering a terrible rap. I really didn't want to talk about this. You kind of went into it. I think that when it comes to like a sense of normalcy, when things kind of get back to normal, if they aren't having parties with that beer because it's been unjustly branded, it's just unfair. They should absolutely do that.
I agree. And it has been unjustly branded along with all kinds of other stupid misinformation out there. But let's not get into that crap because I don't want to waste an entire podcast talking about that bullshit.
We're here to drink.
Cheers. So, I'm wearing my Christmas version of your logo shirt that you just put out. Not because it's anytime near Christmas, considering it's April right now, but more in the fact that I just want to feel jolly because who knows when I'll be celebrating a fucking holiday again.
Yeah, it's going to be a crapshoot what's going to happen with it and where it's going to go. Naturally, I'm also wearing my own shirt. It's kind of all I actually wear these days is just my shirts, period. But hey, that's what I got a screen printing press for, is keep doing that.
You do have quite the variety of sleeveless versus sleeves. Like his entire wardrobe is his own logo now, and I don't blame him because you've made every logo I have used for the last 8 years for all of my projects. And thank you. So in fact, Taryn, very first podcast, Taryn was on here just going, "Go to Dark Nyte Studios and hire Batt." So it's like I wasn't the only one on. I wasn't the only one on here singing your praises, brother.
Right on. Thank you very much.
So there's my public thank you for all of your work you've done for all of my goddamn projects. Every single one of them. Don't even make me go down the list because we're not done because we got some that's still being made right now.
Always working.
Yep.
I was going to say something.
Yep. I can't tell you what it is. NDAs, secret projects, but it should be ready this year, people. Anyway, but because like I've been binge watching everything and I'm running out of shit to watch, I'm restarting The Mandalorian again just because that's just good popcorn material.
That was good. It was very, very good. Actually, Alicia has not seen Community, so I'm going to have her watch that. And since it just went on Netflix, all 6 seasons of it, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. I can rewatch everything. I can have her watch it. And she really likes Ken on The Masked Singer, so, perfect.
Yeah, and Community's I love Community, and just like watching all of everyone from Community now in different things. It's just like I love seeing all them get work because that show was just so damn entertaining for me. And like it's trending at like number 2 or 3 currently right now too, I think.
Yeah, I turned it on this morning, and it is number 2, so it's probably going to creep up there. I hope it passes that stupid freaking Tiger King show.
Yeah, well, I refuse to even watch that.
You know what? It's not worth the time. You can live vicariously through the memes. They're just all terrible people.
Yeah, the memes are great. I don't need to watch the show. I get it. I've seen everybody's posts. So yeah. What other old shows are you watching? Because like last year, this is a magnet from the bar Cheers and a bottle opener that I'm currently using for my Coronas. I rewatched.
You say bar. Bar, that means I have to take a shot.
I'll wait for you. Oh boy. I didn't realize we were playing a drinking game and we had rules established.
Oh, I have rules.
I will do my best to adhere to them.
The rules are.
I made a makeshift. There are no rules. It's quarantine, but rules don't matter, nor does days, times, or day drinking. But I made myself a makeshift cooler.
Let me see it. Hold it up again.
You want to see that again? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I just made your screen bigger.
It's just a jug and my last 3 Coronas with ice.
Perfect.
I was going old school, like like we used to do. Like when you're out camping and you take all the beers out and then you you put them with trash bag in. But I'm like, why am I doing this in a case? Like I was running out of ice in the freezer, and I'm like, okay, you're just being an idiot.
So it happened just 2 weeks ago. Elise felt like drinking, and for everybody that doesn't know, Elise is my fiance, and we're getting married in October. I
was going to bring that up next.
And she had a case of Golden Road stuff on top of the fridge. And like, these are all warm. And I was like, put it in the ice. She's like, well, I kind of want to drink one now. I was like, well, then put it in the ice water and like spin it. Like she didn't understand what I was talking about. I remember somebody had made this product. It was kind of like that picture, and you like spun a beer in ice water, and the centrifuge, I think it's called centrifuge. Don't quote me on it. I'm not a scientist.
Me neither.
I play one on TV. And when you spin it, like it spins the liquid to the outside of the can, and in like 30 seconds, you get an ice cold beer. So I had a bowl with ice water, and I sitting there with my fingers like this, just kind of running it like I'm a little lumberjack on a log. Counted out like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I was like, all right, there you go. It's good now. And it was totally good. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that worked. I was like, it does.
Everyone out there watching this that has ever been a bartender or worked in a restaurant has used that trick to chill something real fast because I don't know. The nighttime bartender forgot to stock again. Won't mention any names that I've worked with over the years. But anyway, mentioning your fiance, so the podcast coming up after you, we actually have a sexpert and a relationship advice expert and coach that has been on the morning show for the Playboy channel for years doing this. So considering that's the next show, let's use that energy in this show. And you got any advice out there for nerds? Because you picked up an awesome nerd that is now your fiance while you're at a really cool nerd trivia game night that I was with you with. Was it nerd-centric trivia or just trivia?
It was. It was a geek meetup group. And when we were there for that, because I was working at a bar in Riverside, where I'm originally from, and we went out to that thing just to kind of like, because I like trivia and I thought it was fun, and that's the first place we met, and kind of been together ever since. And
I was there.
Also where I proposed to her too. So.
Wasn't there for the proposal, but I was there when you guys met, and the chemistry was damn electric. So electric, you guys were blind to it, I swear.
Pretty much. I will show you this though. Like some people have gotten it in the mail. With everything that's going on, we kind of stopped for a second because we were in the middle of looking for photographers and in the middle of sending out save the dates, and it just kind of stopped because like lots of stuff happened. I lost my job as a result of it. She went on like home only work because she's a teacher, and it just became crazy and we didn't know what to do. And just barely in this last week, we kind of decided, you know what, we probably should kind of keep sending this stuff out. Like, it felt weird. It felt selfish to send it out, but at the same time, like, maybe it'll give some people a sense of normalcy, like stuff to look forward to. Because I told her, like, no matter what, I mean, I don't care if we have to do it right here in our living room and put up a camera and people can just stream it and watch it.
I'll be there.
No matter what, we're getting married on that day.
Yeah, there is no quarantine. There is no, they can send the army out to put up roadblocks. My ass will be in California in October for your wedding, no matter what kind of the zombie apocalypse, can vampires, aliens. Fuck, I will fuck up some aliens and I will be at your guys' wedding no matter what.
So before I show it to everybody, I'll show it here on the podcast. Some people have gotten, like I said, this is actually our save the date. So as you can see, we totally did a nerd couple save the date with a Stargate, so that's her favorite fandom. There's a couple of Easter eggs in the back, and that is us cosplaying a human version of Wally and Eve.
Which is other really great relationship advice, like couple cosplay. You guys got some cool cosplays that you guys do as a couple.
Yeah, we've done a couple. There's more that we want to do, but the Wally and Eve was the very first thing that we ever did together. That was at San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago, and a really good friend, Dave, actually shot photos of that, and that's the photo that we use on the front of that. I even made a poster for an anniversary one year, cheesy like that, this total thing, like sci-fi, old school poster with the folds and everything in it. One of my favorite things I like to do. Other than that, we've also done Scooby and Velma. And just to be clear here, she was Scooby and I was doing Rule 63 Velma. So
yes, you were, and it was awesome.
Always something fun. We do have a couple of ideas for some other stuff that we'd like to do. Honestly, it's being like, I feel like I'm the scene that we're getting on with this podcast is going to be like nerd relationships and couples and things.
Only for the next 5 minutes.
So perfect. So one of the things that has helped is introduce me and also her to fandoms that we probably wouldn't have just started doing on our own. I had seen the Stargate movie, liked it. I'd seen a couple of parts of episodes here and there, but before I lost my job and I got like a regular set of hours from being a server, shout out to all my friends that are still servers. You guys are top notch. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, and support your local restaurants once they start back up. And if you can order takeout from them now, please do so. It's the only way they're going to survive. Sorry.
Pretty much. So I sat down with her and I actually watched the entire series of Stargate. So everything SG-1, everything Stargate Atlantis, and even what was the one with the ship? I'm forgetting what it's called now.
Universe.
Wow.
SGU, Stargate Universe. Yeah.
Stargate.
That's the one Elena Huffman was in, which is about 8 podcasts before this.
So she was awesome in it too. Oh my God. When she first popped up on the screen, I was like, oh my God, I met her. I know her. That's Casey's friend.
Yeah. I was just like, oh crap, I didn't know she was going to be in this, because I was like, you know, way before Instagram and as many social mediums. And
yeah, her storyline in Universe, that's probably the one that I wanted to see what happened with the most.
Right?
Just because of how it ended, like,
Yeah, that's one of those shows, like, you know, because Atlantis was mine. Out of all the Stargates, Atlantis was mine. I loved Atlantis. So when SGU, like, one fucking season, like, come on, I was pissed. Like, but
yeah,
anyway.
I was really hoping that they would at least do a movie to kind of tie some things up.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Hello, Stargate Universe movie, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I feel like it's too late to do it now. Like so much time has passed. Like
Nah.
like there's only one way I can think of to do it, but everybody else would have aged as well, and it kind of ties into the last episode.
I think if Stargate actually wanted to do a whole new series, there'd be no better way than to actually start it from some sort of future them being discovered, whoever's left in an older age. Quite frankly, like if they did that in like the first 15 minutes of a brand new Stargate show, I'd be fucking hooked.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd be into it too, because that'd be the first time that I actually watch it as it's happening. Like this, awesome. Because we were able to watch everything. Like sometimes, it was always like Stargate Thursdays, and then Thursdays became, I think it was Tuesdays. We moved it because something happened. I don't know what. And
but that's important relationship advice too, right there, is because you guys have like set date nights, and you guys compromise according to your guys' work schedules and life schedules.
Yeah. You just have to be there, and you have to be there with each other, and make sure that you're listening to your partner, and then also like even if I didn't like it, like I would still like watch it because that's what she liked, that's what she was into. So like it became important to me because it was important to her.
Yeah, and it's that kind of give and take and compromise that makes any relationship, including friendships.
Yeah, that definitely.
Lord knows you've taken a lot of my shit.
And relationships. Do you remember how we first met?
Glad you caught my segue. You want to start?
My friend.
In fact, that deserves me opening my second Corona.
Oh, that means I have picked shop then.
According to your rules that you're making up right now. Do you want to start the story, or should I? Cheers.
Why don't you start it? Because technically you were there first, and I just kind of interrupted.
Yeah, you did. Cheers. This is not my friend. This is my brother. There's blood, and you choose family.
And unfortunately, I just can't get rid of you.
A lot of people can't, including my own family. Okay, so if you're on the Down the Road Show YouTube channel, you can actually go back to the beginning and actually find this. So when the audio podcast was going, we were having fun and we were getting things rolling, and we were one of only 11 video podcasts on the entire planet, but that was before YouTube had longer than 15-minute videos. At the time, you had to do 15-minute videos or less. It couldn't even be 15 in 1 second. And I know that why? Because previous guest Mark Christopher Lawrence, who was just on the show, that is literally uploading right now to YouTube while we're recording this. Yay, technology and internet. But he was our very first celebrity guest we ever had on the show back when Chuck was on TV. Because I was a huge fan of Chuck, and I was constantly retweeting and constantly a part of any social media awareness to get the show continued each year, because we had to fight to get it continued for 5 whole seasons. Ugh. So get the podcast going, have him on, and discover all of a sudden people start sending me press invites. I'm like, wait, what do you mean I'm press? Because they're like, yeah, you got a website, you got a podcast, you got all this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
they didn't know you were a fat nobody?
They did not know I was a fat nobody yet. So for those of you tuning in expecting to see William Atherton, we apologize, he couldn't make it.
The page out of Jimmy Kimmel's book.
totally stealing from him.
See, I'm trying to find it too, so that
Okay.
I have it.
Are you actually finding the video?
No, I'm not finding the video. I was looking for there's a thing that I want to mention when you were doing this stuff. So what were you doing? I think that was Wizard World.
It was so Wizard World. Wizard World has a bunch of conventions around the country. Chicago's the biggest one. That's my favorite to go to of all of them. But the first one I ever went to, they did one in Anaheim. They haven't done one in Anaheim since. I don't know if that's because San Diego moved WonderCon from San Francisco.
There was just no time frame for work.
Yeah, and San Diego was only temporarily moving WonderCon from San Francisco down to Anaheim, but it actually outsold and did better there, and they just kept it there, which pissed a lot of people off in San Francisco.
I think that's because San Francisco is so expensive that Anaheim was just significantly cheaper, and it was like, why not?
Not just that, but the level of guests expanded almost immediately because they're just driving down from LA.
Yeah.
So it totally changed WonderCon by moving it to Anaheim. So Wizard World was the very first convention that I ever got press passes for, and got they pretty much what they give me, like 12? I can't remember. They just, anytime I needed another pass, yeah, thank you Wizard World, they just gave it to me. So like I had still photographers, I had camera operators, I had producers. It was a spectacle, and we had a booth. So like it was just good times. And they asked me and my co-host JC Tregarthen, what's up? Shout out JC, how you doing, buddy? Love you to death. To
JC's podcast.
Go follow JC. He's involved in I don't even know how many radio shows and podcasts currently. But they had us host the costume before it was called a cosplay, but the costume contest on Saturday night, where Jason Charles Miller, another friend, was one of the judges, along with I think Ivy Doonkitty, and I can't remember who the other third judge was. Man, that was so long ago.
I don't remember that.
I think so. It was so long ago. We have to check the footage. It's literally on the YouTube channel on DTRShow.
What's the YouTube channel called?
DTRShow. They're literally watching the channel right now, unless they're on Chronicles. Yeah, the logo in the corner, motherfuckers. I told you could swear on this podcast. And for everyone listening, yes, I'm getting lost on a tangent here. This is why this is a better visual audio cast. But we're hosting the contest, right? We're up there. And all of a sudden, from the third row, someone starts piping up.
I'd like to say I was a little further than 3 rows back. Maybe 6 or 8.
But your voice travels like it was third rows. Cheers.
It's probably from the years of theater.
So take over the story from there.
Grade.
Take over the story from there, from your perspective.
Okay, so from my perspective, I was with a group of friends, and like, hey, let's go watch the costume contest. And it was in a small room, not like 50 people small, but like it probably held 100 people, maybe.
And yeah, it was kind of crammed full too.
Yeah, it was a middle aisle, and like the wall spaces, and that was kind of it. There wasn't like multiple things for people to go around, and there was multiple sections of chairs. So
to the point where they had the costume people lining up out the back door into the hall.
Yeah, and actually I remember too, because like in my people, it was like, should I go up and enter? Yeah, sure, why not? And somebody else got up and went to the back of the line and said, yeah, I'll enter now. There was no like, you need to have your form filled out. You've got to enter on the floor at booth 1305, right next to the Soul Geek booth, which Andrade runs.
Yeah, so not organized the way it is now. No, for sure.
You gotta submit your form 2 days in advance, do a pre-judge and everything. You just kind of like walk around in a circle, say, yeah, I want to enter it, and you can stand in the line. So there you guys were introducing people, and I'm just in the back kind of like heckling. And to my knowledge, nobody has ever heckled at a costume contest before. until I did.
It's, to my knowledge, I don't know either because I'd never hosted one of those ever. This was my first experience. Thank you very much.
So there I was, and it wasn't that I was heckling the people that were going up. I was actually really proud of them. It was just as you guys would say stuff, I would turn around and I would say something back. Yeah, love you too, man. You're number one. For those of you listening on the audio version, he just held up a finger.
It was a number one finger, though. It was not the middle finger, sir, because you are also number one, and I love you. I would not be that finger. I was pointing at myself for everyone watching the visual at home, saying he was heckling me and JC.
Fair enough.
Which
so as
pissed me off.
As it's going back and forth, like they're saying stuff, and I'm just like, just shouting stuff from wherever I was. And then eventually it gets to the point, like usually with hecklers, if you're on stage and they're like saying stuff from the crowd, it's very easy for them to not get fully engaged because they're in a sea of people. So I remember you were like, well, why don't you come up here and talk on the mic?
Well, first of all, because, first of all, we're at a convention, so it's a sea of introverts.
True.
I wasn't expecting you to actually come up.
So, yeah, and I got up. I was like, oh, fine. And I walked up to the front. And bear in mind, I was wearing crow makeup. I was doing a crow cosplay. Not that great, but I was doing it anyways. And you guys were talking about bacon, I think, actually. And walked up to the front, and you guys were saying, like, back and forth. And then you would say something, and I would say something, and we kept doing this tit for tat thing until the point where you're like, okay, you can go sit down now. It's like, you realize, like, obviously this guy is comfortable in front of a bunch of people, so this isn't going to work, and I can't shut him up.
Fucking show me up, will ya? Go sit back down.
And I did, and it was great.
That was exactly what it was. I was like, this asshole is making me look like a chump. Like, no, go sit back down. But then, so our friendship really blossomed after that.
Yeah, it was after that. I'm trying to go into my Facebook, actually, because I want to see my albums. I think that there's actually a photo of you, JC, and myself from that con. It's just kind of buried way back in stuff.
Yeah, it would be. That was like 9 years ago.
I have to go way back past.
It's funny because, so, not to interrupt, but because Mark was talking about this with me. He's like, has it really been 10 years? I'm like, technically it hasn't been 10 years since you've been on the podcast, but it's been 10 years since I thought of starting the podcast. So it's a 10-year. So it's a 10-year anniversary since the audio started, but not actual the YouTube channel. So.
Okay, Witherell Anaheim, 2011, and there it is. I just found the photo. And then actually, the caption on the photo is costume contest MCs. I heckled and stood at the mic with them. Good sports. And there's JC, there's me and the Crow, and there's you wearing your Superman shirt that's got only 2 signatures at that point.
Mm-hmm. Elena Huffman and John Schneider.
So I'll have to send that to you so you can post it again or something.
Oh, yeah.
But
forward that to me for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then you started following the YouTube channel because you were on it. And when I was going through, not the worst part of my life, but at the time I thought it was the worst part of my life when all of a sudden it was just like, okay, it's time to cut my hair. It's time to face reality. And so, yeah, I had my niece cut it off, and we made a video, and I put it up there. And you have been donating your hair for years, so you contacted me so that we could film you cutting off your hair, and then you showed up in the Joker mobile.
Showed up in the Joker, and I love that car. That car is still sitting in my parents' house right now.
As
The
it
wrap,
should.
the wrap is completely deteriorated. It's totally burned. If I had a driveway, the garage, like to park the car in, I have a engine that was rebuilt, but I just didn't have the money at the time. I would actually
And that's a
rebuild.
long, messed up story.
Yeah, I would finish the engine now so that I have that car still, and I would kind of keep it. But you know, it is what it is. I got to get rid of the car, move stuff out of my parents' driveway. 'Cause I don't live there anymore.
Will there be
And
a Joker mobile too then eventually?
you know what? It was so good. I don't know if they did sequel. It's like
Do a Batman version this time?
maybe. Well, the car that I have now is a '98 Honda Civic that my friend Patrick actually gave to me because I didn't
It
have
would
a car
make
at
a
the time.
good second edition, quite frankly.
That car is actually named Quinn after Harley Quinn. I moved from the Joker to Harley Quinn.
Okay, well then, all right. You turn that one into a Harley car, and then that way, once your graphic design and t-shirt business is financially stable, and the new car, you turn that one into the Batman mobile.
Maybe so.
Because, so that's how I meet this guy. He pulls up, and the videos on the DTRShow YouTube channel, go check it out. It's so epic and just beautifully cool for like any nerd and fan of, you know, Batman, DC Comics, and especially the Joker, who, you know, pretty much 80% of people ask about that on this podcast are Joker fans. That like I was in awe. It's cool. So like that's one of the reasons I fell in love with you, and what really kickstarted our friendship right there, and why he makes everything for me, because you designed that car yourself, because you worked at a place as the graphic artist there that helped design the wraps for cars. Like, how crazy is that as a medium compared to like the business cards you've made for me, flyers versus T-shirts, and the difference between, you know, the how you go at it from a graphic artist perspective?
So the real big differences there between like a vehicle wrap and like a flyer or business card is you have to suddenly start thinking in 3D terms, because it's not like it's flat anymore. Like now there's suddenly like curves involved. You know, there's a little bit of a fender flare that goes over the wheel well. So suddenly you're conscious of like it's not just, you know, going to run off the edge, but it's going to run off of the edge over onto the hood, or it's going to come around to the bumper.
And the whole conscious thing that you just said there, exactly, because like after we became friends, we'd be driving around and you'd be pointing out crappy designs on business vehicles to me, and I can't unsee that now when I'm driving around. When I see just a bad design on something, especially where like the phone number's split, and I'm just like, I can barely read that phone number. Batt would be fucking shit in his pants.
Yeah, and it's something that I still do when I look at something like that looks good. That looks good. I'm like, that one needs this little tiny thing, and it's going to look better. Once I got into design, like I just like my view on things started changing, and like as the years progressed, as I got better and better at being able to do stuff, far from the best. There are people way better than me, but just as that I got like a fundamental understanding of things, I started to notice stuff and see how they are. Like people put up posts about like movie posters, for instance.
But our entire life around us is marketing on everything.
Yeah, people put up posts about movie posters and be like, all these posters look the same. Stop doing that. And it was like, look, it's not me as the graphic designer that says I'm going to make the same thing 30 times over. It's the studio that's standing over my back and saying, make this look like this. And they're saying like, that's it. That's what I want it to look like. And, you know, deep down, like as a designer, like I can do something else. I want to do something else. Like, no, I need you to do this in 20 minutes. Get it out the door. We need to get it print. Like, while you're stripping it out of creativity.
Right. And just for the record, for everyone out there listening on the audio podcast, when he's talking about studios, he ain't talking about me.
Nor am I talking about Dark Knight Studios, which is available for freelance work.
Exactly. And that's why I've always used you for pretty much every project for years, because of your perfectionism. And like, you know, it didn't matter it didn't matter that I thought it was good enough. And your perfectionism has changed me as a creator in a lot of ways too, and the way I see art, and especially graphic art in marketing and in a whole out there since we became friends. Like, you've made me a better person with the amount of knowledge you've shared with me, probably because you had to, so you could shut me the fuck up.
Pretty much. I think it was you, actually. I think you were the first person to say it. Like, I know it wasn't myself, because I'm not egotistical in any fucking way, shape, or form. Is I was working on something, and this is when I was going back and forth from my house, taking the train because I didn't have a car. You would pick me up at the Irvine station, take me to your house, and I'd have a big duffel bag, my computer tower, and
God, I love those weekends.
Yeah. It was like super fun. Actually, we did a lot of great work.
Yeah.
But you would pick me up, and we'd go to your house, and you had a computer desk there, and you're like, I don't work at it anymore. Set your stuff up there, and I use the tower, or not the tower, but the monitor you have. But I brought my keyboard, my keyboard, mouse, and my tower, because I work on the laptop, because I hate working on laptops as a designer. And sitting there, and you would like poke your head over the stairs, and like, so how does it look right now? You're like, it's good, it looks good, but it doesn't look. And I think you were the first one to say, it's like, it doesn't look fantastic. Like,
I was the first. I was the first. I used Battastic hashtag before you ever did.
I think you did. I really don't think that I ever said stuff like that. I think I would use like the hashtag of like Batt shenanigans when I would drink and start posting on things. But other than that, like, I think
no, it was because and I will take credit for it, and I know I did, because you have a level of perfectionism that I wasn't used to working with, having, especially since moving, from moving back to California and trying to start my music career, and then giving that up, and then just jumping into the Comic-Con scene, and getting invited on so many weird projects, like in the first few years type of a thing. Like, working with you changed my perspective as far as professionalism and perfectionism, because I didn't give a shit about my product. It was unedited, don't give a crap, just throw it up. It's just content. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, I remember we started to change a bunch of different stuff like that, and things that you had. But even still too, like, as you would see me do stuff, and then like you see me do things, and then that you like, when you said it was not that task, like, all right, well, let me make a couple of changes. And then I started changing stuff. And I'm like, hold on a second, let me try one more thing. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, all right, I want you to look at it now. And in between that, like, because of the stairs, the way they were at your house, like, here was the computer desk and these stairs ran up the side, like, you would just kind of reach in and give me like my glass and just kind of fill it up for me so that I could keep working and not have to get up.
20 years of bartender, I can't help it.
It was good. It worked out, and it really did help and push. And I would honestly say that during that time and everything that we were doing, it was probably some of the most creative years that I had. Like, all those times of going back and forth between your house, my parents' house, and just carrying my stuff and going back and forth and carrying my tower, and people seeing me on the train with that and everything. Like, it was.
Yeah, you became a train regular.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because I was talking about that with Mark on the other podcast, because I brain farted and I got obsessed with fucking California traffic, because like I keep seeing those photos of the empty freeways, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to go drive like crazy, because I ain't never seen anything like that.
I don't think those photos are accurate, by the way, because I've been on the freeway here in Orange County where I live, and it's not a barren wasteland. There's still cars on it. So I think the stuff that people are posting, like, this is not totally accurate. And I think these are from different times and everything, and people are just showing it.
Right. And you're that's another thing you've been good with me, helping me, realizing what's doctored versus not doctored when it comes to photos and stuff. So but So go check them out. Yeah. So you cut your hair. You just cut your hair again and recently donated it again.
I did.
Pour another shot, huh?
Well,
I will wait to have this last sip of this Corona with you.
This one
Cheers, my brother.
actually goes out to everybody that ever got my hair. You know, for one reason or another, whether you lost it to cancer, whether you lost it to some other disease that, for, you know, whatever reason made your hair fall out. That's why I never let my hair go to Lots of Love, because Lots of Love only went to cancer patients. It didn't go out to any other, like, alopecia or anything like that. If those kids lost their hair, that's for you guys.
Cheers.
Whew. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely drunk.
I got a nice buzz on. But, you know, I pregame too, so. But, yeah. And I donated my hair twice, and obviously won't be doing that ever again. Still not bitter.
This last time that I did it, though, you know, I typically grow my hair out. Once it gets to a point where it's, like, pretty much down, like, to the, you know, to my ass, and that's when I'm like, all right, it's, like, super long, and that's when I just kind of wear it up into, like, a little bun. And I've been wearing my hair up in a bun for years, and then suddenly the term man bun came out, and I was like, no.
I was doing that for decades at work just to get it off the back of my neck so I wouldn't sweat. Like, it's practical.
Yeah, that's all it is. Getting it off the back of your neck.
Yeah, it's practical. And then all of a sudden it became this douchey term with, and a lot of them look douchey though, like, to be fair.
No comment.
We all can't have your silky Mexican flowing hair.
Very few of us.
Yeah. So, like, hey, I got a couple fights with a few ex-girlfriends just because, like, my hair was better than theirs. And, like, I literally had one take about an hour and go through my entire head of hair looking for a split end and couldn't find a single one, which started another argument.
Okay. And how long has she been without fight?
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah. So getting back into our flow of the story, yeah, you were doing a hair dry, and then I was actually sitting at my local watering hole, which is when I worked out in the Ontario area. I was going to this place, which was just a city over, Rancho Cucamonga. I was going to Taco Hut, who are doing takeout orders for everybody. So go to Taco Hut in Rancho Cucamonga. Gonna go ahead and plug them. That's what I do.
Damn right.
I was sitting there, and that was my spot, and I was having like a few drinks. I had a few tequilas, I had a few beers, I had a meal, and I turned around and I texted. I don't know if I texted you or messaged you. So I was like, hey, you know what? You're doing a hair drive. I'm in.
Yeah, you messaged me. We didn't have each other's numbers yet.
Yeah. I was like, I'm in. I'm doing it. And your thing was like, really? And I was like, yeah, can I cosplay when you do it? I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So then.
That was the first time my mom met you was in cosplay.
No. The first time your mom met me was like the 4th of July thing when your niece was going to go off to the Air Force. I think. I don't remember your mom being there.
Now I'm confused. Well, I know Deborah always referred to you as you mean the guy with the makeup?
She said I was the kiss guy.
The kiss guy, that's right. Because she didn't know what The Crow was. The movie The Crow.
Yeah, she would just call me the kiss guy. And then every time Deborah saw a girl, because she knew that I wasn't married or dating, she would say, hips, fat, hips.
Birthing hips. It's all about this birthing hips. Do they have good birthing hips? I used to get that all the time too. Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I looked like I was good to have babies. Maybe. I have no idea. I really don't know.
That comes after General Waffles.
Oh. Everybody doesn't know, General Waffle is the name that I want to have for my dog that I preferably would like to be a French Bulldog. Can be a French Bulldog mix. I'm okay with that, but that's the name of the dog that I want.
I know. I love it.
So I really don't know where it came from. It just kind of popped in my head. I thought it was funny. So there we were, and we showed up and got to your house, and you were in the back grass, and you were smoking a joint. You're like, do you want some? I'm like, nah, I don't really smoke. Like, okay, I do. And you kept smoking the joint. And then we went inside, and then you started filming me while I was putting on the makeup. Finished the hair, got the makeup on, we drove off, went to the place, cut the locks down. I think we took off about a foot and two, which is about what we took off this time. And after that, we went over to the place that you used to work. We're not going to name it. And
fuck no, we're not going to name it.
Had some food, had a few beers and everything. And ever since then, we've kind of always hung out.
Yeah. And thanks for not naming the restaurant. I'll name the Fuck You Greens, the owners. I'll mention them, but I won't mention the name of their establishment.
Well, that's what it was. That's not what it was at the time. I think it was OG's.
Yeah, it was an OG's. So if you're in California and you like OG's Pizza, go there. I've met the owner. Great guy. Not the franchise owners that changed the name and blah, 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 and fired me the day before my 40th birthday because the legal age of age discrimination in California starts at age 40. Anyway.
Can you actually count to 40?
Not anymore. Not with everything going on with my neck. And
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah, so we filmed that, put it up, and that was pretty much the start of our friendship.
Yeah. We started there, and I don't remember what happened after that, but I think I just kind of came out for...
I think we hung out at a Comic-Con, and then after that, we started hanging out because that was the secret project beginning, I think.
No, it wasn't even that. It was before that, actually, because I had redone the Murdock Worldwide logo.
Because that thing was trash. Just like, oh my God, someone, you'd love this. Okay. For those of you who don't know, the William Atherton mentioned earlier is a joke because I have an interview with William Atherton in my beginning years where somebody called me.
I encourage everybody to go look at that interview on Down the Road Show. Not because the interview is great.
No.
It's an interview. It is what it is. But because if you scroll down in the comments, you will see somebody commenting, and I quote, "If this fat nobody would be quiet, I could hear the interview." And it was talking about KC, and it is the funniest and best quote ever. And I constantly hammer that in there and just kind of always say, like, who's this fat nobody? Like, every now and then, I will just post that in one of his things.
Or just, I'll be talking about my family, and you'll say it in the comments on Facebook. And it gets me every time, and it's just, yeah. So that's my Jimmy Kimmel instead of the William Atherton is the throwback joke. So, but oh man, yeah, because I was like, look, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a crap interviewer to begin with. Not like a.
You're still a crap interviewer today.
I'll set him up. You knock him out the park, buddy.
You're just wearing good shirts now.
Yeah, at least I look better, more presentable. Oh, goddamn. Where were we?
Oh, we were talking about my screen printing.
Yes, we were talking about your screen printing, which is available for hire if you're digging these shirts. But, yeah, and so not to, plug you while bragging about me, but I had to force you to start a damn Instagram.
Yes, you did.
So go to Dark Knight Studios Instagram so you can see a bunch of his stuff. But like, it was about 6 months you got your first paid gig, I think, after starting your Instagram from somebody who was digging your stuff.
Oh, gosh, I don't remember. some of my earliest posts actually were from your house because that's where I started it.
Yeah. And which is why we were actually helping other people brand their companies and start their social media, which is a whole nother subject. But you know what? You know, when you're starting businesses, sometimes you got to take the clients wherever they come. Doesn't mean you got to keep working with them, though, people.
Yeah, actually. And I used to do, like, I did a ton of work for free. More than I really wanted to, more than I wanted to. But at the same time, I was still trying to get my foot in the door and get the experience of things and everything.
It was pissing me off. It was pissing me off. Like, I was like, stop.
Like, sometimes I was like, yeah, I'll do this for $50. And that was like a logo. I was like, I don't know, like I have a horrible mindset when it comes to valuing my work. I still kind of do it too, but I was constantly like undercharging for work. And nowadays, like, I really don't do it that much. Like, every now and then, if I need something, somebody needs help, and trying to get something done, I'll still do it. I'm like, give me whatever you got.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
And friends and family, you know, hooking a brother up is completely different than a client you don't actually personally know. Kind of like that one year for your birthday, because, you know, not everybody likes to celebrate themselves, and Batt isn't big about his birthday or Thanksgiving and certain holidays. For 1 year for his birthday, he made like 50 logos for different friends for like their little podcasts and different creative projects, and some didn't even have to do with projects. It was just more kind of a personality statement, and it was just every single one was cool and unique and like extremely fitting for the individual.
That was actually 23, because I was born on April 23rd, which is coming up in a few weeks. This podcast will come out sometime in July because Casey's lazy. And but I think I made 20. I think it was 20 logos, 20 different logos, and I did like 3 of the Grindhouse posters that I like to do, and just of my friends. Like, it was not like nobody asked for it, nobody wanted it.
It was just a surprise to everybody.
It was just something that I wanted to do because it was hard, and I was having a very hard year, and well, not a year, in fact, a few years. But I needed something to do, and I still don't like my birthday.
I do believe that was the year before you met your fiance.
It was a little bit before that, yeah. And
but you were, like you were saying, you were having a hard year, and creating is kind of your zen place.
Yeah, it is. It helps out a lot to be able to make stuff. And for whatever reason, like, I just decided like that's what I want to do, and that's how I want to do it. And this year, actually, like whenever this podcast finally comes out, in 2020, I'll be turning 40 this year.
You're gonna make beer come out my nose. That shit hurt, old man. So you're gonna do any like surprise? You got enough going on right now.
No, what I wanted to do actually is I wanted to design a new shirt, like text-based shirt with my Dark Nyte Studios, and I just kind of wanted to give that away. But because I got let go of my job and I'm unemployed now, to get available for graphic design and screen printing services,
hit them up at darknytestudios.com.
I can't do that. Like, I might be able to do it in like a very small fashion, but not in the scale I wanted to, because I wanted to like just give away 40 shirts, but obviously there's no way I can do it now because the finances involved in that are just way too high, and I don't have that.
No, Val, I love you. Please don't do that. You can't afford to do that right now. Everybody you would be doing that for knows you can't afford to be doing that right now either, nor could they afford right now that kind of generosity.
Actually, everybody that has a Dark Nyte Studios shirt that's just this logo right here, nobody's ever paid for that. Like, those are all free. I give all those away. Like I think I actually gave like.
Ain't lying. I own one. My sister Tisha owns one of these. We didn't pay.
I think for the actual logo, like this one is just this logo by itself.
But
I
you do have an Etsy available with your Batt-danas. I love I love your branding of the way you Batt-danas.
Yeah, there's some sitting right over there actually.
Yeah, so like you're going to start putting up more and more designs on Etsy this year, I would assume, since more people are at home, bored, shopping from home.
You know what? Honestly, it's crazy. Like every morning when I wake up, like I'm getting notifications that people are looking at some of the bandana designs, like the Ouija board one that I thought was going to be the biggest seller, and turned out not to be. I sold like 3 actually.
Well,
Sudden, like,
the Halloween season's coming back up.
And like I don't know why, like suddenly all people are looking at it now, but like let me go over and grab.
Absolutely, you should grab one. But yeah, that was my point, was that Halloween season is coming back up, and you designed those for 2019 Halloween season, and all of your Batt-danas have Halloween themed. And quite frankly, we need a Christmas theme too, because like this is. Can I show this off enough? I'm not grabbing my boobs out there, everyone who's watching, but I can't show off this T-shirt enough. Let me describe this shirt that I'm wearing for everyone who's listening to the audio podcast real quick. It's basically a skull that he designed with a Santa hat. Kind of, I'm not saying it is Nightmare Before Christmas, but kind of has that kind of feelish to it, with, instead of the crossbones, for kind of like the pirate flag look, it is candy canes. And so it's just so, and then there's some snowflakes around it on the outside, but you can't tell from out there. But if you go to his Etsy and all that, and look, and his Dark Knight Studios Instagram to find the photos of these, one of my favorite parts about these is, like I've been talking about, your detail and your perfectionism, is like these little snowflakes are actually made of little skulls.
Yeah, so that stuff that you're talking about, actually, the shirt you're wearing, that was a small, like, little detail on bandana design. And I took that and I blew it up, and I was like, this is kind of neat. I kind of like it. I just colored it in and stuff, and I was like, let me put this up. And I put it on my Facebook page, and then all of a sudden, like, friends or something, is that a shirt? Like, let me get that shirt. I want that shirt. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know anybody want these shirts. And that's a really hard thing that I struggle with personally with me. Like, and it's kind of like it's kind of a mental thing, actually. Like, we just constantly undervalue ourselves and undervalue our own work. And I do that all the time. And I always think that nobody will ever pay anything for my shirts, which is why I always gave my shirt away free with my logo, because why would anybody pay for my logo? I'm not Nike, I'm not Sean John, not Reebok. Like, who gives a crap about that? But that thing that you have, is on one of these.
And there's the snowflakes I was talking about.
Yeah, these are all the snowflakes. And I designed all these snowflakes. And if you look real close, right there in the middle.
Over to the left. Right there, right there, right there.
Yep, there it is, that's that design. And I just kind of took that and I was like, let me flesh this out as its own thing and see how it does. And all of a sudden that turned into like a 37 shirt order. I was like, oh, geez, like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I mean, shout out to Stephanie Bongart. So go to bongoinc.com if you actually need, other stuff. That's what they do. Their entire job, love them to death. Their entire job is
Stephanie,
printing on stuff.
Yeah, God bless her soul. Stephanie, who owns a screen printing company and everything, saw the design and said, I like that. Let me order 17 shirts. So a big chunk of the shirts are from her. And at that time, I was just like, you know what? Give me $10. I think it was $10 or $12, whatever.
You way undercharged her.
Yeah, and I was like, just take that and it's fine. And that's you know, I actually lost money on that.
Well, and God bless her, because she's an angel sent from heaven anyway. Not to go into a long story and whatnot, but back when I was a musician, her company printed my fake band tour shirts, which with a fake tour dates and cities on the back, which were not planned. It was just like a farce that we was like hoping would happen, when I got involved with a con artist that totally screwed me over while I was recording my album. And I'm not even talking about the con artists that actually own the studio. Love you, Jesse Wright. Love you. Oh, what's that I see? Did I say something? Did I say something that was shot time?
It was just shot time.
Cheers, brother. But yeah. But that's, but as a creator, that's very typical, is undervaluing yourself as an artist and as a creator in all mediums, not just as a graphic artist. As me doing podcasts, all the videos I've ever made, my music.
I have tons of friends that are just extremely talented, and I think they're great. And I was like, I would pay for your stuff. And they're
You're the greatest, and you're my favorite, and I've been telling you that, and one of these days you better fucking believe it. You've been the greatest for me.
Sir, you're just spoiling me now.
Right there. I'm pointing to my heart that you have filled up, sir.
No, you're pointing to the snowflake.
The snowflake on your shirt that is available for hire at darknightstudios.com for everyone listening on the audio podcast. Oh, but yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to come out to California and be there for the wedding. So with all the coronavirus out there, to kind of get back to that, like, it really changed the way you guys are like planning. Because I've had a few friends that completely canceled their weddings. Like they were supposed to get married last week. Like how is that affecting your planning? First of all, how's that affecting your planning? Second of all, how is it now that you're both stuck at home? How are you guys coping with that with your relationship? Because everybody at home is dealing with that.
Well, excuse me while I belch.
Too many bubbles. Too many bubbles. He's burping. Don't look behind the curtain.
Oh my God, I'm so definitely drunk right now. What was your question?
I don't know. This was your idea. You're like, hey, I'm drinking on your podcast. I'm like, hey, I quit drinking, but I have one beer every now and then. I got 4 left in the fridge. Fuck it, I'll save them for today. Let's do this. This was This is your fault. Like, I'm supposed to know. I'm the one with nerve damage and brain damage between the two of us. It was how are you coping with quarantine now that you're both home all the time?
Yes. Okay. So she still has her job, which is great. We still, like, through this, like, I still, like, wake up fairly early. I used to work at like 6:30 in the morning or 8:30 in the morning, depending on the day. So for most days, I usually wake up still like at like 9:30 to just kind of get up, and I don't bother her, and I go to the couch and just kind of play my phone, respond to like notifications or look at stuff or just kind of watch things or whatever. I usually don't turn on the TV. I wish I read my books more. I still have a couple of books I do want to read.
What's on your reading list?
It's novels, actually, by actually, no, one of them right here. By Ransom Riggs. They're actually labeled as YA, youth. But it's the Miss Peregrine's novel series. There was a movie that came out, Home, Kill Your Children, and a friend of mine actually, Tracy, Kitten Geekery, had the book, and she had like an advanced copy. And I was like, oh, I saw this in a bookstore. Like, this kind of looks cool. And she's like, take it and read it. Like, all right. So I took it at the time, and like, this is when I was going back to work the train a lot. Read the book, and I was like, this is amazing. She's like, I have the second one. You can read that too. It's like, all right, fine. So I read the second one, and then I had the third one, and I got the third one, and started reading the third one, and then I got a job, and all kinds of stuff started happening. So I stopped reading
Stupid
it.
adulting.
Yeah. So, and then I like my reading went way, way, way down, and then like as all this stuff happened, and then I started reading the book again, and I asked for one of them at Christmas, and somebody gave me one of them. So I'm like book 3 of, I think it's 5. So I'm like kind of in the middle of that stuff, but it's great stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm still waiting for George Martin to finish the last Game of Thrones book. So actually, the one before that I haven't even read because it's been so far apart that like I just refuse to like. I'm gonna have to. I figured like years ago after I bought it and actually met him at San Diego Comic-Con and had him sign my hardcover copy.
Dude, you realize this podcast makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Like, it's all over the place. Pretty much just us hanging out, looking at each other, talking to each other. Your face is so red, so I can see that the booze is working.
Yeah, well, actually, this part here is nerve damage. So is that, and around here. But yeah, remember when you asked me what are we going to talk about?
Yes! I was like, we have nothing to talk about, dude. We're just going to sit here and talk to each other. This is going to be kind of weird.
This is how every podcast is on Down the Road Show. Have you ever seen me follow a script?
I've never seen you correctly cite somebody on their social media.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I actually can't remember who it was. You'd be like, yes, I'm going to be talking to, you know, oh, shit, I can't remember his name. Oh, shit, I can't remember his social media, but I'm talking to him. But that has literally happened to you at least 50 times.
And recently,
you know,
too.
That's why we love you.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's life is interesting, and I like a lot of different subject matter. I'm not a one-trick pony.
I just want to say I'm pretty sure we're way over the 1 hour mark.
Oh, no, I've lost count of time. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the start of our friendship, and blah. Here we are, like 9 years later, or 8. Yeah.
Like 9. We're like 9 now. If I go back to the Facebook and look at the picture, I'm pretty sure that was 2011. So it's been 9 years.
Okay, there we go. 9 years, and we can't. And you never know where your friendships are going to start. That's kind of the point of where I was going earlier with this. And that's why the con life is the con life. And I've made wonderful friends at different conventions out there. Slurring my words now. Yes, I'm on my last Corona here. And cheers, brother. Cheers to your shot.
Sorry, but what is this?
But yeah, so all right, well then let's wrap this baby up because I've lost track of time. I don't know how long we've been talking. So how we end every conversation, and I already know where this is going. Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Why?
Batman has always thought his way out of everything. And the idea of that is because whatever happens, whatever goes on, like you as yourself, if you're able to, you can think about it, like you can get out of anything. If you count, somebody else will help you and they'll give you that leg up. But no matter what, they will always be able to give you like a stepping stone, which will help you accelerate yourself to be able to get out of something.
And every hero is only as good as their villain. Who's your favorite villain?
Oh, that's the Joker. It's always going to be the Joker. The Joker is literally like chaos incarnate. The Joker represents everything that you didn't ever think of, but happened. Like it's like a chaos there. It's just completely nuts, and then somehow it all adds up. And there's a little bit of you that represents that part. Like you are partly that chaos incarnate, and the reason that you make the decision that you do is because you don't go that way, but you go this way. So if there are certain subjects and matters to you that, for whatever reason, like you just kind of choose one direction, and if you choose the other direction, you know what? It's not like constant, like you make one choice, so that's the only way you're going to go. It's a constant splitting everywhere it goes, and for whatever, you know, it might. Man, how to explain? Like,
It's no. And let me follow that up with, that's the reason why Superman is my favorite hero. Because as the ultimate, okay, yeah, I don't know. Let me finish here. But it backs up your Joker statement here with the whole choice and chaos and flow and choice of life. Is Superman could be the biggest villain of all time, but he chooses to be the Boy Scout he is. It's his choice. For those of you listening on the audio podcast, he's just finishing his drink.
You know, I had a story. I had an idea for like a Superman story too.
Oh, have you watched Red Sun yet? It's so good.
No, I have not watched it yet.
So good.
But because I'm too busy looking at this bandana by Dark Nyte Studios, which is our Ouija board design. Which has the letters. And also, if you look close, it's a very important design. Gotta plug stuff.
Yes, he is available for hire at darknightstudios.com. Which leads me to my last question, actually. No, one last question. Who's your real life hero who inspires you in life?
Oh, gosh, this is actually the hardest question. I really don't know who inspires me. It's kind of an unknown question because it's like your everyday person. Like it's all of your friends. Like, you know, it's literally everyone that's doing stuff. Like my friend Amber is making sure that she actually has the same birthday as I do. She's making sure that everybody knows stuff in Orange County. You know, it's my friend KC who's putting the podcast out because he wants to make sure that there's stuff for people to watch. You know, even if it's only one person watching, and it's him.
Right, and just like right now, you're my personal hero because, like I always talk about in every podcast, I bring up mental health, and I'll bring this up live right now in this podcast that you're the first person I texted last night and told that I've been suicidal for the last month and a half, and it's important that we have people we can actually talk about that too. And which is why those lines out there, those phone numbers for suicidal awareness exist, because we all need someone we can talk to, whether it's a family member or a friend.
All right. Well, then we go dark, but apparently you will.
I always keep it real.
Yeah, you know, it's that stuff too. And I hope that if for whatever reason, any of my friends, all two of them, that look at this podcast, decide that they just kind of want to reach out and say hi. Of course, that's what we're all about. No, I don't think there's one person alive that doesn't want to hear from their friend that says, hey, I just want to talk. I think we're all there for that. Like, there's very small people. There's very much small people. Sorry.
It's that connectivity and connection. We all need connection. And I've been dealing with health issues that have pretty much had me quarantined for the last 3 years and not working, which sucks because I've been working since I was 16 years old and I hate not working. Like, I don't just, and then on top of that, being a former musician, like, now that I've gone down the rabbit hole, fuck it. Being a former musician and singing my entire life, before I was even forming sentences and words and knew how to talk, I was singing. And now with all this nerve damage, it has affected my vocal cords and I can't sing anymore. On top of that, like, I get migraines and black out if I even try to sing. I've made that mistake in the shower a few times, which is why I now sit on a chair to shower because of my dizziness and everything going on with my own health. So, like, I never thought I would be in that situation. Cheers to your last shot. I'm going to finish this Corona. But it's awareness. And now, during this quarantine time, now is the time for connectivity and to take advantage of all this technology. And we can still be together even though we're far apart, because even your strongest friends, you don't know what they're going through right now.
No, not at all. And it's kind of weird because, like, people that I thought were really strong in this, and I've had a few conversations with friends and, like, hey, how are you? It's like, why are you asking how I am? Like, you good? Like, I thought you were greater than me. Like, no, I'm not. I'm like, holy shit. Like, it just kind of, like, levels you. Like, the idea is that everybody's in the same boat. Like, people will think that, like, it's kind of weird to say it, in a biblical sense, because nobody wants to put it in that, like, category. Like, but it feels like we're all in Noah's Ark right now. Like, we're all in the same boat.
And it's still raining.
And it's still raining. Like, we have rain going on in California, and, like, it's kind of weird because, like,
I didn't mean that, like, literally.
Would it rain this much if we weren't driving everywhere and putting, like, emissions in the sky? Like, are we getting this rain because of that? It's a whole other ball of wax. It's a whole other fucking podcast that we could do. If you want to do that, we certainly can.
Next week, coming up, which will be available in August.
Available in August. There's different stuff, and, like, I would say just, in closing, I would say, reach out to your friends. Like, you don't have to say everything. You don't have to, like, tell them it's hurting, but you just say, like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Like, that just opens up a big dialogue that you didn't think would be possible.
And just a simple, hey, I need someone to talk to. Like, right now, in these times, like, everybody needs somebody to talk to. And I keep seeing all these, my point being, like, look, I'm using Zoom currently to record the video portion of this podcast. And all of a sudden, Zoom has blown up because of the quarantine, because people are having Zoom cocktail hours and Zoom meetings and partings. And I've been trying to get creative friends that have product they need to promote on my podcast since before this coronavirus started on Zoom. And now all of a sudden, everybody's on Zoom and I can't get a hold of anybody.
You know who you need? Actually, like, Dino. Dino would be great.
We do need to get Dino on there. I'm going to actually hit him up. That's a good idea.
You need to do his Columbo.
Oh, my God, his Columbo.
Oh, God, what's his name?
Who are you trying to think of?
Oh, my God.
With all of my issues, like my name recognition and all that doesn't work properly. But, no, you're right. But point being, now is the time to reach out to friends and family and just have conversations and have connection, and because that connectivity.
That's what it is. Like, he does an amazing Peter Falk impression of Columbo, and it's so good. And that's how Dino and I actually became my friends.
At C4.
Yes, yeah. I forgot what I said. Oh my God.
What?
Drunk.
You look like me right now when my brain just completely shuts down on me. Yours is
Oh.
alcohol, mine is nerve damage.
Definitely drunk.
Okay, and so there you go. So your real life hero are just people being kind and compassionate.
Yeah. That's really what it comes to. All of my friends, that's what my real life heroes. Just doing their thing. Everybody's doing what they can to
You're so drunk.
kind of.
But yes, point being, yes, friendship, friendship, friendship. And thank you all of the friends out there listening to this on our audio podcast and who have actually watched this entire podcast on our YouTube channels. But
nobody ever. We're the only two people to watch this stuff.
There's for all three of you that made it halfway through the podcast, I also thank you. For the one person left watching now, also want to say, like, Batt here. See, Batt also went viral doing Cholo Thanos.
Oh, okay. So now that you mention it.
And whoa. And the reason I bring that up is because you've all seen, you've seen it going on in there. You've seen it going on in there. And down here underneath, you've seen the advertisements. I have recently started a Patreon, okay? So jump on the Chronicles of Comic-Con Patreon and become one of our patrons, because we could use your help. Because let me tell y'all what, y'all love some Stuart Mazzio, Stuart Mazzio Joker with 11 million hits. I got footage of this guy right here doing his Cholo Joker.
Oh,
that we haven't finished filming yet. So this is one of the reasons I started a Patreon, because I got years of footage. So if you've been listening to this entire podcast, he's been making fun of me for not putting out footage and finishing editing and actually putting things out in a timely manner. I'm well known for that because, quite frankly, I'm a petty son of a bitch. And when I film things for free for people at Comic-Cons, and then all of a sudden they're begging me, where the hell is it? Where the hell is that? Like, I'd rather just never put it out. But that has nothing to do with Batt here. Anyway, I got a ton of Chronicles of Comic-Con footage that I have not edited together and put out. So that's actually one of the reasons I started a Patreon. So go to patreon.com/Chronicles of Con, or if you want to support this podcast, to /down the road and join our Patreon so we can actually get some more cool creative things going. Because I want to finish what we started, but we still got to film some more in order, because we didn't really figure out an ending to your story. Which is funny because we never had a storyline for Stuart. That was just all crazy weird shit. Yours actually has a storyline. But anyway, we're going to finish that up. And Batt, brother, so where can everybody go hire you?
If someone really wants to talk to me, they can go to darknightstudios.com, and hopefully they can put it on the bottom of the screen right here. In case he's unable to do that because he sucks, you go to DARKN, Y is in yellow, T is in Tom, E is in everything, studios.com.
Yes, and it's important you spelled that out for all the audio listeners out there, because it's not like the normal Dark Knight spelling if you're a Batman fan. So it's NYTE, Dark Knight Studios. But of course, you can follow the link in the comment section to all of my YouTube videos and find him in there, because actually your links are in every single YouTube video. And are you going to be doing Cholo Thanos at any future cons?
Maybe I might do it. You know what? We might do a quick 30-minute podcast with Cholo Thanos.
There we go. So tune in for future Cholo Thanos podcast with my boy Batt. And love you, brother. Thank you very, 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 very much for not just being on the podcast, but every logo, all the shirts, your friendship, being my brother in life, and literally saving my life, because these podcasts are literally the only thing keeping me sane right now. So also thank you to everyone tuning in, listening, and tuning in at all of my YouTubes. Thank you very much. Love you, and we'll see you all down the road.